I've always wanted to do music. I grew up an only child, so I loved entertaining myself and putting on shows for my friends and my family. So technically I wanted to start doing music and acting. I loved Hilary Duff growing up, like Liz McGuire was my life, and she sang and she acted as well, so that's something I've always wanted to do. Acting took off first for me, which was nice because on the series I work on, I was able to focus on it and make it the best I can, and then I've been blessed enough to have the opportunity with music. I was in the drive-thru at a Starbucks with my mom, and I heard That Naturally, my single, was number, I think, 7 on Kiss FM. And they were like, here's number 7 on the countdown, Selena Gomez Naturally. And I freaked out. I started crying. I called my Nana, and I was so excited, and we didn't want to get out of the car, and we called everyone, and we called my stepdad to go in the car and listen to it, and he was listening. So it was really exciting. The best part was I got to go to Kiss FM, and I got to take the piece of paper down with the countdown, and I kept it. I'll be honest, I'm from Texas, so I didn't even know what Z100 was, and I came to New York about maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, and my band and everyone kept saying, okay, you know, Z100 is where we want to be, and I was like, what is that? That sounds so exciting. And they're like, it's the #1 radio station ever. And I'm like, oh, okay, that might be good. And I went to the studio for the first time, and I met everyone, and they were so nice, and so now we have it on our car, and now we listen to it, and we're a big supporter. Playing in Madison Square Garden is definitely a highlight of my career by far. I've never even been in Madison Square Garden. I've been to New York thousands of times, but I've never even stepped foot in here. And I was doing my sound check, and I was so nervous just looking around because I know how many legends had played on that stage before. So I'm extremely honored. I'm very nervous, but it is definitely a highlight in my career to me. Being a part of Z100's Jingle Ball is definitely an honor, but I remember looking at the lineup, and every time I get prepared for a show, especially working along these other huge artists, I'm like, I hope people know who I am. I'm like, I hope people know some of my songs. So honestly, to hear the reaction, I'm going to be just excited to be up there, but I hope I don't fall. I think that's the biggest thing I'm worried about. But I hope people have a good time even if they don't know my music. If there were no music, there would be no emotions to share. I feel like music is definitely, their tears brought in words, their joy brought to words, their happiness, their love. I feel like a lot of emotions wouldn't be as vibrant if there were no music. This year has been crazy for me, being able to do a couple of shows, and when we came to New York, I had never had that response. It was insane. The fans were amazing. They knew every single lyric to every song. I don't even think they cared that I was on stage. They were just like partying, and it made me feel so good. Because a lot of times I go on stage and I'll sing a couple of my singles, and everyone gets really excited because they know the words, and then I have to explain some of my songs. I didn't have to do that. They were screaming louder than I was singing. So I definitely feel like New York was one of the best shows I've ever played. The feedback with acting and singing is definitely different. Whenever I'm acting, I don't get to see the reaction of what I'm acting out. I mean, we have a live audience taping, but I don't get to see all the people, how they're laughing to our jokes, how they feel, how we make them feel, how we did. I don't get to see that. And when I'm on stage, being in a studio working on an album for a year and then stepping foot and performing it and witnessing what it's doing for my fans is amazing, because you can see that each of them have a different story that they're thinking about when they're listening to my songs, and that's what makes this worth it. Tonight I will be performing my single, my recent single right now, which is Round and Ground, a single I released on Disney Channel, which is called A Year Without Rain, and a song that Katy Perry, one of my idols, gave me called Rock God, and then the single that started it all, which is Naturally. I have met Katy. She's so awesome. She's really cool, and I'm a huge, huge fan. Would I say hi to Katy? Yeah, but I don't want to bother her. She probably thinks I'm crazy because I talk about her all the time. She's probably like, why does she keep talking about me? Just because I really like you, Katy. Sorry. I'm going to watch every single person on that stage. I am so stoked for everyone. I'm fans of every single person that's on this list. Very excited to see Bruno Mars and Michael Bublé. I will say that those are my two that I'm so stoked about. Every time I wake up, I can't even believe that I'm doing the things that I do. I love every single thing that I'm a part of, and I feel like the luckiest girl in the entire world. So every day feels like a dream, and I'm very thankful, and it just gets better and better.